This question says, the wheels spin in the denoted direction. And by that, the question is referring to what's indicated by this black arrow. And then the question continues, which direction does the rotor rotate? And the rotor is this component here. And the answer options are A, which we can call clockwise, B, counterclockwise, or if it doesn't rotate, then mark C. So again, we start out by being told that the wheels are rotating in this manner. So from this perspective, we could call that a clockwise rotation. Now, in between this axle, or rather in the center of this axle, we have this gear. And this gear is called a worm wheel, and it is one of two key components in a worm gear system. We have the worm wheel, and the other key component is the actual worm gear. Now, we can see these are interlocking here, and this is indeed one of the advantages. It assures rotation in only one direction. So if the axle is rotating clockwise, then this worm wheel is rotating clockwise. But now the question is, what is the rotational direction of the worm gear? Well, it can be very hard to see, and this image doesn't help, so we've included this zoomed in illustration up here, this diagram, to help make things clearer. So when we have a worm wheel that's rotating clockwise, so we can see that in this left part of the diagram here, we call the worm gear above it, to which it's interlocking, a right-hand worm gear. Now, the reason being is because, again, we have this worm wheel rotating to the right, and again, it can be hard to see, but actually this worm gear, the helix of the worm gear, is slanted down to the right. Now again, we can also see this in the original image, but admittedly, it is indeed hard to see. But you can see that there is some curvature, some angle to which that worm gear is slanted. So because of that, we call this a right-hand worm gear. And if it's a right-hand worm gear, then we would expect counterclockwise rotation. And as we said at the beginning, answer option B is what represents a counterclockwise rotation. So because of that, the correct answer is B.